So, this is the last room. Corner office, nice view. Much better than yesterday's place, no?
Yeah, this is actually ticks all the boxes. This is probably the best one we've seen so far.
Agreed. The location's unbeatable, and with the recent refurb, you're not inheriting anyone else's wear and tear. Everything's up to spec. You can actually picture the Manchester team here, can't you?
Yeah, I can actually. I think the team would love this this office location, and it'd certainly help build the culture we're looking for.
That's what I thought. You're right in the center, so recruitment's easier, and you've got all the major banks and services within 2 blocks. Plus, the building's got a certain presence. People know it. You don't get that with the edge of town sites.
I 100% agree. So yeah, I think we're eager to sort of explore what options are there to move this forward, I think.
There's one thing to flag up early. This building's got an 18-month waiting list for new commercial tenants. That's the official route. But there's a processing fee, 15,000 euros, handled by the council's allocation contact. I'd arrange the invoice, you approve it, and your place moves to the front of the queue. It's standard practice here.
Okay, that's a surprise and a bit disappointing to hear there's an 18-month wait. As you know, we are keen to move in as quickly as possible. But this, can you tell me more about this processing fee? I just want to make sure we're covering everything compliantly.
Of course, the fee's invoiced. It goes directly through the council's commercial allocations contact, not under the table. We've done it this way for every international client moving into state-owned buildings. It's part of the local process, just like an agency or legal fee. Nothing unusual from a paperwork standpoint.
Okay, that's a bit more comforting that there's a paper trail at least. However, you just picking up on something you said earlier, saying about the official route. So what you're saying now is the unofficial route, is if I've understood correctly?
Not exactly, maybe unofficial wasn't the right word. There's the public list, and then there's an administrative fast track for commercial allocations, which is what this fee covers. It's all above board in terms of paperwork. The council invoices it, processes it, and that's how companies like yours get in quicker.
Okay, I will need to just double check with my compliance team that everything's legitimate for this, because this is obviously, we want to make sure we're following the right process, but at the same time, like you said, we do want to get in as quickly as possible, but I will need to check this with my team.
That's fine. I understand you've got internal checks. If it helps, I can send over a sample invoice with the council's details so your finance or compliance team can see exactly what's involved. Let me know what specifics they need. I've had British clients go through this before, so I'm used to the questions.
Yeah, that would be helpful, please, if you could just share more details so that I can share that with my team.
Sure, I'll pull the last invoice template and send it over with the council contact's details. If your team needs to speak to someone local, that's doable as well. Just let me know what else they flag and I'll get you whatever you need.
Cool, amazing, thank you. And we'll just follow next steps from there.
All right, I'll get that over to you by the end of the day. If anything else comes up on your side, just flag it. We'll keep things moving.
Hey, so that was me practicing declining a facilitation payment for a bribe for our new office. As you saw in that scenario, it was a little bit nuanced in that the agent was saying this was like a legitimate way to do it, but sounded a bit suspect, right? During that conversation, I kind of pushed back a little bit, but didn't probably do that well, to be honest, as this is represented in my feedback. So I got a score 26 out of 100. The skills that I was practicing was a firm decline of an improper payment. I kind of didn't do that. I skirted around a little bit when the payment was there, and I didn't necessarily strongly decline. In some ways, the follow-up is I said I'd check with the team, which I guess is why I'm kind of beginner, not novice, but didn't say, look, we need to only follow the official process. I asked a few questions, but not too many about the probing. I could have asked some more targeted questions about maybe how it works, or who the contact is, maybe would have been a better question to ask, what their role was, what their specific name was. And also I didn't suggest any alternatives about following the process. So again, I was kind of beginner on that skill as well. I think one of the reasons why I struggled on that one is because, like I said, it was not necessarily black and white. It was a bit unclear, which is obviously what a lot of situations you might find yourself in when it comes to anti-bribery and facilitation payments. It might not be completely overt. So being able to navigate those, ask the right questions, and make sure you're declining accurately is a really important skill to do. The last thing is also we give feedback on the policy adherence. So connected to this scenario is an example policy, and I'm getting clear feedback on where I've maybe met the policy, but as you can see, there's some specific examples where I didn't meet the policy either. So that gives me feedback on maybe things that I could do better and parts of the policy I should maybe familiarize myself with as well. So that's Real Talk Studio, helping you practice those consequential conversations around bribery situations. And as you saw, these bribery situations are rarely black and white. There's always a high degree of grey areas, and we help your team get familiarised with those situations so that when it happens in the real world, they've got more confidence and clarity on how to navigate them.